Hey, Adam.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, hey, Russell.
Hey, Russell.
Guys, how's it going?
What is up?
Not too much.
Adam, I saw you just take a sip of something.
Yes, for today's beer share, I'm
Yeah.
bringing to you
Whoa.
Capital Brewing, our lovely sister city in Madison.
Yeah.
This is the Winter Skull.
What does that
Uh,
mean?
and comes in at a whopping 5.8% ABV.
All right, let's. That's probably the lowest. I don't know. Maybe
You think so?
I don't know. Russell, what do you have?
Yeah, I've got the Potosi, and it's 5.5. It's the Cave Ale, but this is like you guys probably know the story, but this brewery opened in like 1850s, ran until 1970s, then went out of business, and then kind of like the local community brought it back. I think in like 2008.
I like that you're doing the real research.
So
Yeah.
Love it.
I just imagine you, in a lawyery type room, in one of your offices with your like head in your hand, and you're, doing a lot of this and a lot of files around, and everyone's like, Russell, what's the matter? You're like, I got a lot of research to do on Potosi. It's before this trial was in play. Yeah,
You finally sit back and you're like, is the Potosi Summer Shandy the best summer shandy I've ever
no, their
had in my
tangerine,
entire
the
life?
tangerine IPA is the best. Like
Is
one
that
of the
your
best
is that
beers.
your
Yeah, I love it.
and Steven, are you drinking a third
I'm
space?
drinking a third
Did I catch
space.
it? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So
Infinite
this
Wisdom.
is my first time trying Infinite Wisdom, and I bought it because I have that.
I'm pretty sure that's brand new.
I
I
think
think
it's,
that one's
yeah.
only been out for a little while.
I think you're right. It's got cool colors.
definitely
Um,
does. I like the design a lot.
Third space is second to none in their design. I love what they did.
Imperial IPA. Sorry, boys. 9%.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. You got us beat by a long.
Oh, Steve's going on an adventure.
I'm gonna take a nap in a minute. So.
Okay, so Russell, this brings up a really good question. We as we were obviously doing research and working with various folks, we found out that you're the kind of lawyer, or you want to be, or you are toting that you are the kind of lawyer that people want to have a beer
Yes.
with, which
We were
immediately
sold.
attracted us
I was
to
gonna
you,
injure
of
Adam just
course.
so he could hire you.
To sue you.
I like that. That's dedicated. That is definitely
But
dedicated.
yeah, instead of just like maybe emailing you, it would probably would have been easier. And that's what
Yeah.
we ended up doing. And thank you for responding. But can you maybe tell us what that means to you?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and maybe give us a little background on Nicolet Law too, and
Yeah,
a
sure,
little
sure.
bit, just so we kind of get some context on what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Nicolet Law, I started in 2007 in Hudson, Wisconsin when I was just a young lawyer. And like I was telling, we actually did a meeting for our office because now we have so many folks, so we had to do it kind of virtually. But we were going through a little bit of what the office was about back then. But part of that always was being, to me, the lawyer that someone could just sit down with and explain their problems, and then I'd straight shoot them, right? So you could sit down with me with a coffee or a beer, and you'd feel like it wasn't awkward. You could tell me what you need to tell me. I'm going to straight shoot you. I'm going to be, I'm going to listen. I'm going to understand you. I'm not going to judge you, and we're going to figure out a plan. I always thought, like, if I had to hire a lawyer, what would I want? And even my wife, she used to say, the way you talk to your clients is like they're your buddies. And I was, and I'm like, but to some extent they are. Like sometimes because a lawyer has a little bit of a stigma, people are like, I don't want to hang out with them. Like I've been up north and so I went out to some bars, but I'm not going to wear my suit. Because one time I did wear my suit and I showed up and everybody thought I was a preacher. They thought I was a preacher at first.
Come on,
I
Dad.
tell them I'm a lawyer. That draws all kinds of attention. They did still buy me a lot of beer for being a lawyer. So, with my suit on, they thought it was hilarious. And I had to kind of sneak out of the bar. I'd been there all night. But I went back a different time just with my flannel. And, I'm just hanging out, just kind of mingling with everybody. And finally somebody's like, hey, man, what do you do? And I said, man, I'm a lawyer. He's like, oh, you don't wear that on your sleeve. He's like, I can't believe you're going to flannel. But that's why I just want people to see that I'm just the same guy as they are. And they can sit down and feel comfortable with me.
Right on. Right. You know what I love about that?
Absolutely
Yeah,
love that.
is your team sent us some swag, which we love, and one of those items is a flannel.
Oh, yeah.
Probably gonna be Let's get the hardest question out of the way
Oh boy.
first for
Uh-oh.
you, or
Yeah.
early rather, not first. What is your favorite beer?
Oh, my favorite beer.
Yeah, maybe of all time, or maybe right now.
The Lakefront Brewery has been a right like that. That place is pretty solid. I grew up, and this is whether it's good or bad, but I grew up in northern Wisconsin. I spent a lot of time up, kind of like north of 8 area. You get beers when you're young in Wisconsin. He used to have those PBR shorties, right? So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's so that I'm not saying that that's my favorite beer, but it's kind of nostalgia for me. I also like Miller Lite. Like Miller Lite's a good beer, just a good solid, kind of light beer.
Easy drinking, yeah.
Yeah, but I think like Lakefront's had a lot of good stuff. In Hudson, where I live now, there's Hop and Barrel Brewery. They make some really good stuff too.
Nice.
So, and I was actually getting a tattoo one day, and I think I saw one of the guys are getting the actual Hop and Barrel tattoo on him too. So like,
Nice.
No
they've
way.
got a dedicated employees there. So
Clearly, some serious dedication.
yeah,
Steve, you don't even have an experienced Milwaukee tattoo yet.
you kind of got to step that up.
How
I
do
think.
you know?
Yeah, that's true.
That
Right.
is a shockingly good point.
Yeah.
So Russell, it seems like you like to have some fun. You don't take shit too seriously. Although I sense you do take the work you do for your clients very
Yes.
seriously. The most fun I have watching you and your team are the commercials. Like those things are a blast. What inspires? Who's the creative mind behind it? I mean, you're talking to yourself, you're talking to other outdated lawyers, you're talking to kids, you said your kids are in some. I've seen the rock band. What inspires
Yeah.
this variety of creativity?
Yeah, some guy I think it was on Reddit or somewhere said that this guy must just like have a dream, wake up, and say we're gonna make this like commercial without any other thought, like how it's gonna go. And it's kind of like that. But I'll be sitting around in my house sometimes and think like, hey, this would be a really good idea. So I write it down, and I kind of come from the fact too of like, or the point of view like when people are watching, a lot of our commercials are around Packer games. We didn't put them on the news around the news hour sometimes and other things, but like
Yeah.
I feel like if you're watching TV, you want to be entertained, and lawyer commercials are boring. And like, no offense to the lawyers,
Boring. No,
but
they are boring as
yeah.
You got people talking about it on Reddit? You're probably doing
yes.
something right.
Sometimes I'll have a certain idea and I'll bounce it off. Like we've worked with some guys that used to live in Hudson. Now they have a studio in the cities, and we'll kind of refine it a bit. Cassie, our marketing manager, I'll tell her I got this idea. What do you think? And actually, my son, I have a 14-year-old, and I'll tell him, hey, like, what do you think of this idea? And and I think he's very similar to me. There's certain commercials that he likes that I like, from other, not necessarily what we do. And we're like, yeah, something like that. I like that commercial. This commercial would be funny, just like how we like that other commercial. Like, I'm not a huge fan of State Farm. I'm always fighting insurance companies, but they have some clever insurance companies.
Yeah.
Andy Reid and the Nuggies. I always think that's pretty good, right? Like,
I don't know how they got him to say Nuggies, to be
No.
honest with you. This is a head coach of an NFL team,
Yep.
and they got him on a commercial going, give me some of them Nuggies. And you're
Right,
like,
right.
what? How did they get him to do that? This walrus mustache. It's wild to me. Yeah, exactly. Wait, hold on. Speaking of the rock band commercial, do you have a favorite band right now, Russell?
Yeah, I mean, so I like a lot of stuff. Like one of the inspirations for, I don't know which rock. If you saw the one, it's Nicolet Law, that one. But there was another rock band one, and I kind of got inspiration from Whiskey Myers. Like I think Whiskey Myers is a cool band. So, and I like a lot of that kind of folk country Americana.
There it is. Okay.
All right.
So.
I was like, why do I not know this? I'm like, oh, it's probably country. I listen to zero country, so I know nothing about it.
But yeah, and my kids really like rock, like, which is good, but it's that's all they want to hear. So we've got to like balance when I'm in the car. It's funny because when you get kids, like they just take over the radio.
Oh, you're not kidding.
My Spotify hours are way down now because they get in and they Bluetooth their phones.
Yep.
Yeah, we're backing out of the drive. They'll put it back into drive from reverse so they can get the screen to tap the shit. Versus, when you put the camera comes on,
the rear view camera comes on.
Like we have to leave.
Dude, Did you guys see last year at the Super Bowl commercial? I rapped. I don't know if you saw that. We did one.
No.
Yeah, we did rap. It was pretty like, and I had one of my kids there. He's now 6, so he'd been 5, and he interrupts me. And he's like, "Dad, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Making a rap." So like we have fun with that stuff too. Like I said, I've always been a big fan of music ever since I was little.
Hmm.
I grew up in Green Bay, and so we used to listen to like WIXX was the radio station. And I was telling my kids like every night they had the 9 at 9, so I would listen to music like every night. And then I'd wake up to "Don't Want to Work, Want to Bang" on the drums all day.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
telling them like that's my alarm would wake me up basically. It had like a radio alarm when I was a kid. So.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna honestly. Now this just kind of gave me some inspiration. I've been having trouble waking up in the morning, like just getting motivated to wake up. I think I'm gonna try that because I'm a diehard Packer fan.
That might get you going. You might
And if
get
I can,
fired up and like just jump out of bed.
that might do it. I'm kind of excited now. Right now, I'm waking up to waves crashing against the sand, and I think it's putting me to sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does that wake you up? That kind of sounds like I would put me back to
It
bed. Like,
lulls me. It lulls me awake. And it's the exact opposite of what I'm looking for.
And
Yeah, I want to get up and I want to bang on the drum all day.
And
Like,
he
I wanna
also then pees the bed
nuts.
when the ocean.
Well, that's a separate issue.
as you
Speed.
hear the waves crashing, it's like I don't know what's going on.
All right.
Well,
I
it took us all of 20 minutes to completely
derail the
derail ourselves.
All right. So Russell, a lot of people are talking about you in our circles. The billboards, the commercials. Who is this guy? And I think for some it may be like, oh, he's just entering Milwaukee now. He's not
Right.
from. He doesn't know. I think there's a lot you've been, you've lived, but why Milwaukee now for Nicolet Law?
Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of dipping our toes in over there. I think about 2 years now, but I was born in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, but like in second grade, I moved to Sheboygan,
Mhm.
lived there for a while, and then moved up to Green Bay. So most of my life, I lived on the east side of Wisconsin. I've always really had this connection to it. And not there's anything wrong with Western Wisconsin, but Eastern Wisconsin, they're a little different. Like nothing bad, but like, and so I've always really enjoyed being over there. I think I told you guys too when we were little. My one brother and I, who's about 2 years younger, who now works here too. We used to go down to Milwaukee County Stadium with our dad, and so I have a lot of good memories over in that whole eastern side, including Milwaukee. I like to go there, so now I have a reason to travel there even more. Sometimes something just starts to work correctly, and you just go with it. And I've always been that way too.
Something just that's awesome. Something just clicked. You said you were working with Quick Trip on
Yeah.
something because they just did a post, like Quick Trip posting about you.
Are you breaking news right now, Adam?
Yeah, totally. On Instagram, it's already live.
No, Quick Trip did do a post about us, kind of like poking fun at how many billboards. It was like we have 270, I think, like 275 billboards.
Yes.
And Nicolet Law, yes, instead of like which one do you want,
Yes.
which is kind of funny because like Cassie would say that's probably how Russell is. Like, okay, yeah, we don't. It's not which one. It's like when are all of them available? But
when are they ready?
yeah,
for
let's
me?
like how can we just line these up? And then there has been some cases where we've like overlapped by accident between billboard companies, and then some like we'll have somebody on social media be like, "Do you know you have two billboards right next to each other?" I'm like, yeah, we're working on that. We kind of made a mistake.
My response back would have just been, "Yeah,
Yes.
you brought the entertainment to those billboards too, like Fear the Beard and just a dude with Aves on and a big beard, and he's like, "Are you injured? I'm your lawyer. Like, come have a beer with me."
Why wouldn't you use me?
Exactly. So that was what I was gonna say. But what was the Quick Trip thing?
So now I'm kind of like, it's funny because I feel like they're a big fan of us and we're a big fan of them. And so like when I saw, I can't remember, some new gas stations coming in, it's not Bucky, but it's somebody else. And I was like, screw that gas. I was just thinking to myself,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing in Wisconsin?
We have Quick Trip pride here.
Yeah,
100%. It's
we
so
do.
True. It's so true. I love going to I take my son just about every Saturday to go get some donuts at Quick Trip because the people are always super friendly there, obviously, and it's clean and it's nice, and they have stuff that I want.
Yeah.
I think you could get rid of all the other stuff. They still have stuff that I want there. So they're winning.
This has been awesome. It's been
Russell, thank you. This is so much fun to do.
We appreciate everything. Your team is great. We're proud and excited to when you say things like there's a lot of stuff coming in Milwaukee. Just hang on, everybody. We're proud to be partners with you, and it as a testament to you and your team, you are still in the mix of all the lawyering. I sent you a blind message on LinkedIn, and you responded to me within an hour and said, "Hey, I'm in depositions all week. Talk to Cassie." She responded in almost like pretty much the same amount of speed, and it's just been fun ever since. So thank you so much for all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we try. We're trying. We try to get back to people. It's getting harder and harder just because of the amount of contacts we get. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
Sure.
I appreciate you guys working with us. I think I'm really really excited about Milwaukee. We have some actually Milwaukee specific swag that I'm like, hey Cassie, I'm thinking of this. But like, I'm really a big fan of Milwaukee, and it's not just saying that because we're growing in there, but
Yeah.
I really really like that place. And I think the big thing's going to be too, like, one of the things we try to do as we get into the community more and more is like also make sure we're actually part of the community, because one of the things that we've tried to do here is make sure that, like, when you hire our office, it's just like, I think for a lot of things in the world, like, people try to scale and people try to, they get to this informal kind of transactional relationship. And I never wanted our law office to do that. And it's exciting, to work with you guys too, and be able to, one more thing towards that goal. So
Right on, right on. Yeah, and you feel it, you see it, and I think Milwaukee's going to be better off.
I agree. I hope so.
All right, boys. 9%.
Yeah, I could be going to bed soon, man.
We got one more recording after
We have
this. So
another one,
we're
yeah.
keeping it as tame as humanly possible right now.
Later on, I'll just be
Yeah, check.
check. Where'd he go?
It'll
Where'd he
be
go?
you'll just see his feet
Yeah.
instead of Steve, you there? Oh, he passed out.
Yeah,
Son of a gun.
this is a snoring or something like that.
I appreciate the confidence both of you have. And
Yeah, no, you're gonna be fine. Will that even phase you? 9.8% full beer.
Well, if I have
I'm
more,
not even phased.
Is that like a is that a sponsor of you guys at all, or just someone that?
the third space?
Yeah,
For third space?
No, just friends in the city.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. I love trying different beers. So
Oh my God, Russell, we have a laundry list of great
Yes.
breweries you could hang out here.
Next time you're in Milwaukee, we'll take you around wherever you want to go.
And also including in April, you're going to have to try the Experience Milwaukee beer at New Barrels.
Oh yeah,
because we have a beer.
that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys are doing the right thing at the right time too, because I do believe that you're going to see more and more people consuming their information, the way that you're doing it on social podcasts. I think that we're already seeing that's kind of how we've been focusing and kind of pivoting a bit. But I think it's exciting to see, like, because when I was telling somebody this the other day, is that it gives more ability for things to be really local, like yourself, right? Because otherwise, a lot of the news and things like that is just bigger, right? Like, there's things that, like, I'm a big history fan too. So I always like, and obviously Milwaukee has a ton of history, ton of architecture, cool stuff like that. But you're only going to get things like that from local, like, you guys know the breweries, this like stuff that you just have that advantage. And I think people really like that. So
today's Milwaukee's 178th birthday.
It sure is.
Oh
This
yeah,
very day, January 31st.
When you get another
but
infinite wisdom.
no, I just had this one right now, and I'm like, man, that tastes pretty good.
It's a good beer when it tastes like you're having another one. That actually reminded me of a quick question. Do you know Lacrosse Lager?
Yes, I think so.
It's red can. They used to have the world's largest 6-pack painted.
Yes,
on
so I've
silos.
seen it. I'm just trying to think if I ever had it actually consumed it, but I've seen it. So
if you hadn't, they stopped during the pandemic and they never picked it back up. But it's one of the few. I think it's one of the only two beers. I don't know if ever, but maybe ever. That use the krausening process. It's a way that they brew the beer, and I think Old Style is maybe the only other beer that uses that same process. And didn't know anything about that until I found it on the can, and I'm like, "What is that word? That's not a word." And looked it up and found out all this information about it, and I was like, this is like my favorite beer. I think Lacrosse Lager is probably my favorite beer.
For better or for worse, we support our breweries and our beers. Like,
Damn
we
right.
stick to it,
Sure
man.
do. Sure do.
Amen.